Hey BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you are new to me and this is the first time you're seeing my face, hello, what's up? My name's Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So I hope that's why you're here, because that's what's going to be happening today. If you're not new to me, thank you for tuning in, and always the continued support. I really, really do appreciate it. So today for you, as you can see from today's title of the video, I have a tier ranking video. This is a first for my channel. A first, guys. This is the first time I've ever done one of these. So I'm a little nervous that I'm not going to do it right. So please be gentle. Please be gentle. You know I like it rough over here, but could you be gentle on this one? Please? Because this one took a lot. It took a lot. I will be ranking the books from my Black Hat Book Coven. If you are not familiar with the Black Hat Book Coven, that is an online reading club that I'm a member of with 3 other lovely ladies: Becky from FirstLadyReads, Laura from Book Circus, and Kristen from Kristen Craves Books. We meet once a month where we meet once a month after reading a witchy book, and we discuss it. Actually, we meet twice a month because we have reading sprints, and then we have a live show. And we just discuss witchy books. That's what we do. We all like to read witchy books. But we all have a different witchy book feel. Very, very distinct in our own, and some of us overlap and some of us don't. And there are some times where we do overlap. It also kind of just depends. So we thought it'd be really cool to rank all 12 books that we read in the year of 2024 individually, and how we would rank them from worst to best. And then we are going to simultaneously upload these on the same day. So I'll have the playlist in the link in the down box below, so you can check it out. And you can watch the other girls' ranking videos. And then on our live show, if you are watching this, it is tonight, December 29th at 4 p.m. on my channel. If you're watching this after that, I will have it linked here. You can go check it out. And we will be ranking the books as a group. So if you'd like to find out what my ranking is for these 12 books, grab yourself a drink, have yourself a seat, and let's get talking some books. Okay, so like I said, I've never done a tier ranking video, ever. So I had to go watch a few. I've watched a few in the past, but I actually started to really pay attention to them. And a lot of them have technical abilities that I do not possess. Okay, I don't edit my videos. I do one-shot takes, and a lot of these videos are involved with them ranking it live, whether it's recording on their computer screen, and I just don't, I'm sure if I sat down I could figure it out, but I didn't want to. So I am doing this very, very old school, hence why I asked to be gentle, okay? I literally made a list from 1 to 12, and I'm gonna go backwards. 12 to 1. 12 being the worst, 1 being the best of these 12 books. You're not going to see a cut screen of me putting them in tiers. I'm not going to go shrinking out a little box while I talk, and I'm you're not going to see any of that like you do in a lot of tier videos, because I don't, A, have the editing equipment to do that. 2, I don't have the time to do that. And 3, I don't want to do that. That's not me. Okay, it's just not. I like to sit on my floor and talk. I'm not a computer nerd. All right, I'm just not. I'm a book nerd. To each his own. Second hiccup with this was that I thought when I actually go to make this list, this was going to be simple, because I will just use my star ratings. Makes enough logical sense. Except, you know how the girls always give me shit about being really stingy with my 5 stars? Yeah. Well, that bit me in the ass. Hardcore bit me in the ass, because I gave majority of these 3 stars. The average score of my 12 books is a 3. Shit. Actually, it's 3.2 or something like that. But it's stupid. It's pretty much all the same. So that shot that one in the water. So now I have to go back and watch all of our live shows, all of my wrap-ups, talking about these books, to remind myself of A, what the book's about, B, how I felt about the book, C, if being refreshed with me talking about it is going to keep it permanently in my mind, or if it's going to slip away like it did before. All of these factors involved. And then I just have to legitimately sit here and actively make sure I just don't put the books I chose at the top because I chose them. So I have some kind of partiality to them. Because if you're not familiar with the Black Hat Book Coven, I've already introduced the girls. What we do and how we pick books is we each, since there's 4 of us, pick 3 books for the year. And then we read them. So Mind you, yes, they are all witchy based, but we all have very, very different tastes. I am much more historical based, while Kristen is much more cozy. Laura is much more ambiance with more of the actual like Wiccan belief systems in it, and Becky is just more for just having a good old goddamn good time. As long as no fucking squirrels, she's happy. Okay? She's happy. She kind of flits into all three of those categories, but the rest of us are kind of like, we have our pigeonholes, you know, we do. So it was an active effort to make sure that I didn't just put mine at the top because they're my choices. And after looking at my list, I think I did a pretty good job of that. So let's get into the list, starting with the worst book that I read. And I'm going to be honest about this. I only read a chapter of this book. It came to me late, and I did not get it read for the live show. I had like a chapter and some pages read, but turns out only one of us completed that fucking book, and she hated it, and everybody else DNF'd it. So I didn't feel bad. And I don't feel bad putting this at number 12 because I technically didn't read it, but what I did read of it, the one chapter, I didn't like. And that is The Daughter of Blood by Anne Bishop. This is the first installment to the Black Jewels trilogy. And yes, I do own this book. Another book I bought that I don't like. But to be very honest, I did not give it enough time to really say that I have DNF'd it. So I'm not officially DNF'd it for me personally, but for the book club, it was over, it was done, I was moving on. So this is the last. This is number 12 because I don't really have anything to fucking say about it. And I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. If you watch the rest of the girls' videos, if you haven't already, I almost bet that this is gonna be number 12 for all of us. And that's probably the most love that this book is gonna get from us. All right, that's about it. Okay, cool. Number 11 is Ava Evergreen's Semi-Magical Witch. This is by Julie Jacobs. This was a stretch for me. This is a middle grade, and it's the start of a duology. We follow a little witch who wants to become a full-fledged witch, and she has to complete this mission to do it. She has to go off on her own and complete this mission. And to be perfectly honest, it was cute. It was a cute story. It was a middle grade book, okay? It was middle grade. It had its good parts. It did, but for me, it's middle grade. I mean, this was the year of trying new things, guys. I was trying some new stuff. I was very proud of myself, and I did complete this book. But I just, compared to all the other books, it just didn't shine like the other ones did, and I'm probably never going to finish this series. Let's be honest. This is the first middle grade book I've read since probably middle school. And even then, I was not reading middle grade books because I had a higher reading level. So, I don't know, maybe like the first, second grade was the last time I read a book on this level. So, yeah, it had its cool moments. It did. It was cutesy. It had some nice origami and had a nice little animal companion that I remember that I thought was kind of cute. It had its moments, but it's not for me. And I feel really bad because Laura really enjoyed this book. So I feel really bad, Laura. Okay, so this is the other hard part of this series because I love all these girls and I don't want to put any of their books they pick on the bottom. But it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. It's all done in love. You know I all love you. But the next one is also a pick by Laura. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But number 10 is Honey Witch by Sydney J. Shields. I put this one at number 10 because honestly, I don't remember anything about it. I remember liking the ambiance. I remember liking the bees and the honey and how it carried the magic. I remember enjoying that. But other than that, nothing really stands out. I can't remember many of the characters' names. It didn't hold a lot of weight for me going through it. I remember there being a family And I feel so shitty, guys. I do. This sucks. I don't like now I know I don't like doing these. It's not because of the editing, it's just because it fucking sucks. It wasn't a hit for me. It had a really nice ambiance though. I do remember having a really nice ambiance. I remember that staying with me because when I looked at the book and I reread the synopsis, I was like, this was the book that made me feel just very, very calm and good. And yes, there was some super sexy fun times, but it wasn't like, like it wasn't any of that. It was just very chill, most of it. And I remember the bees, and I also don't like bees. I know they're important, but they sting me, and I don't want them stinging me. But I really love honey, and I remember how honey was infused with everything, so I thought that was a really cool concept to the book. And it had a really interesting magic system. But other than that, nothing really stuck with me. So I put this at number 10. The next book is number 9, and it's also Laura's pick. Sorry. It's Bad Witch Burning by Jessica Lewis. This book sticks out a lot more in my mind. It does. It does. But, fucking dog, man. That fucking dog scene. I mean, this book did make me feel something. That's why it's a little bit higher on the list. Because I remember having, like, actual feelings towards this. But this book lacked a lot of explanation on the back half of why things were going the way it was. It needed to be more fleshed out for me. We follow a teenage girl who can write letters to dead people, okay? I can't remember the character's name off the top of my head, but she can write letters to dead people, and this power, we don't know why, but it just mutates. I think it's because it's like puberty, but it's never actually explained. It just automatically stops working, and it mutates into being able to raise the dead. So she raises the dead to earn money because she comes from a shit fucking family. Her mom floats between boyfriends who are abusive to her daughter, fucking alcoholic jackasses who commit animal abuse, should be drugged up the street and shot. Straight up. I remember really disliking a lot of characters in this book. And so she's raising the dead for money, and then stuff starts to happen. People stop remembering who these dead are and why they paid all this money, and life goes on without them existing, and they just need a place, and then just chaos has ensued while her life is shit. Now her job is shit, and she has to try to fix all of this stuff at the same fucking time, and she's getting sick because she's raising dead people. We believe there's a correlation, but it's not the correlation I thought it was. And I just felt like this book needed a lot more fleshing out. However, I do like some of the points that this book made. It does have some serious triggers for a young adult book. It has some very serious triggers that I did not see coming. Domestic abuse, child abuse, animal abuse, child financial abuse, foster care, things of that nature. Like, there's a lot of serious stuff. There's murder, there's revenge. There's a lot of serious shit in this book that I was not expecting as early as I got it. So, yeah, it's definitely one for the books, but that's why it's a little bit higher on the list, because it did stick out of my mind and I did have a better time with it, but it just wasn't as strong as the others. So, yeah. The next one is number 8, and this was actually one of my picks. This was The Witch and the Tsar by Olesya Slalnikova-Gilmore. This was the very first pick of the 2024 season of the Black Hat Witch Coven, and this follows the Baba Yaga from young to old, how she kind of became the Baba Yaga. I'm a big historical fiction fan, okay? I got this book at the right time for me. It was in the winter. I needed something to sink my teeth into. I need something spooky, something magical. I had a really good fucking time with it. I also love Russian history, and it's Russian, okay? Ivan the Terrible makes a nice fucking appearance in this. And yes, this book did have problems, but for me, this resonated so much more with me. I felt more at home reading this book. I did not feel awkward. I felt comfortable reading this book. I felt good about reading this book. The feelings I got were feelings that I was cool with, that I was expecting to have, and yet I still got a lot of surprises in it. And so I put this at number 8 because I did have a really good time with it. But at the same time, it was not as strong as some of my counterparts' picks. So it is in the lower half of my 2024 ranking. The next book, which is number 7, was Kristen's pick. And I was really excited about this book when we got it because I felt like this was needed right when I needed it. I was super excited about reading this book. And I had a genuine good time with this. And I actually listened to the audiobook while reading the physical book of this one. And this is Island Witch by Amanda Jayatisia. This is about a young girl who in Sri Lanka, yeah, it was in Sri Lanka. And she is the daughter of like a medicine man, and some stuff starts to happen, and we learn some seriously negative shit happened to her, and her family sucks. Like, this is a thriller, so to really tell you anything about this book would give a lot of it away, but I just had a great time with this one. I couldn't put it down. I wanted to keep reading this one, and I was super, super excited. I also loved the cover of this one. Out of all of the books, I think this one has probably the best cover. Let's just say that right now. It probably has the best cover out of all of the 12 books. But I had a really, really good time with this one. Very, very excited about this one. And I would definitely pick up more from this author for sure. This one definitely gave me what I wanted at the time, and it also opened up, this was kind of the start of when I started reading thrillers. I'm not saying this is my first thriller I've ever read, guys, okay? It's not. But this kind of kickstarted that thriller feel that I've been wanting, and it kind of helped get me out of that reading slump that I needed at that time of the year. So this, hit me perfectly, right at the right time. The next one is actually come slight surprise because a lot of people probably didn't think I liked it that much, but I actually gave this one the higher ranking books of the year, and that was Burn the Dark by S.A. Hunt. This is about a YouTuber who kills witches, and people think that her channel is fake, but it's actually not. She is actually filming these people being murdered, and she has to go back to her hometown and realizes that, there's a lot of shit going on. I mean, there's bloody fruit, guys. There's a tree that grows fruit that bleeds, that feeds the witches. Creepy. And I really liked the romance in this one. I thought it was actually kind of cute the way they did it because it was snarky and funny, and it's kind of very, it's super contemporary for the way relationships are now that I see going on. And I thought that was actually really, really interesting. And I enjoyed that. The main issue I had with this book was, it needed some fleshing out, and it was kind of slow in the beginning. But also, I wanted to see more of the YouTube-esque part, because they literally make a point to say that on the back of the book, that this is her job. And we don't really see a lot of that interaction with it. We hear about it, we see a little bit of it, but for it to be her main bread and butter, this is her channel's about, this is what she does. She's a witch hunter. I felt like there should have been more involved with that. That would have been kind of fun to see, but we didn't see that. The next one, which is number 5, is Cottage Around the Corner by D.L. Soria. This is another one of Kristen's picks, and I had a good time with this one. This one loosely based off of Gilmore Girls. There's a lot of Gilmore Girl references in it. I have never watched Gilmore Girls, so I did not get a lot of those references. I just felt really good about this book. I thought it was cute, and I really liked the mom and the mom's wife. I really liked them. I thought they were fucking cute. Straight up, I thought they were adorable. They were my favorite part of this book. They're the ones that I remember the most. Now, should I put a book at number 5 if I remember side characters better? No, but they kept me going in this book. They kept me engaged in this book. And this story was not that bad. I had a good time with it. It's about a witch and a wizard mage two different types of magic, and they both have to solve the town's problems, and the one that solves it first, obviously gets the recognition, and mages tend to be more commercialized, faster than witches, because witches have to draw their power nature-based. I really enjoy the comparison between a magecraft and a witchcraft in this book. I like that dual showing and how both are useful, but yet both still have their problems, so you have to figure out which one suits the situation best. And even though the twist was very obvious, I still really had a good time with this one. It was a fun one, and it was very cute and very cozy, and it hit me at the right time. I had a good time with it, for sure. The next one is also Kristen's pick of Gravebriar by Casey L. Bonds. This one threw people for a loop that I liked it as much as I did. I mean, I'm ranking it number 4, guys. Had a really good fucking time with this one. Really good time. I loved this thing. I would want more books in this world. Like, I wish they would turn this into a series because I really like this world. I liked the setup of it. The twist ending, didn't really see that one coming. At least I don't remember seeing that one coming. But the animal companion was great. The romance was great. The little mystery, the power elements, the way people use their powers and things of that nature. I thought it was great. I had a great time with this one. The magical vine wall at the end was dope as fuck. Definitely had a good time with this one. It also had a gorgeous cover. I was really surprised by this cover a lot. But yeah, this one, I think surprised a lot of people that I liked as much as I did in that live show. It's also young adult too. So we were like, what? Jackie likes a young adult book? What the fuck? Yeah, I know. Crazy, right? Number 3 is The Briar Book of the Dead by A.G. Slatter. This is my pick. It was the most recent one in December. And this one is about a witch who has been born without any witching abilities. And she's born to a family that hasn't had one of these witches in quite a long time. And after a sudden death of her grandparents, her grandmother, who was the head witch, her and her cousins are thrusted into the limelight and now are in charge. And our witch with no powers suffers an accident and learns that she has some dormant powers, that she can see dead people and talk to them. And by the way, she lives in a town where all the ghosts and dead people were eradicated by a past relative, supposedly, but that's not really what happened. And we start to learn a lot of secrets about the town, about her family, about stuff that literally shakes the foundation of her entire world. Had a really good time with this one. I thoroughly enjoyed our main character of Ellie in it. I thought she was a badass. And I had a good time with this one. I'm not going to lie. This is one of the most freshest books in my mind because I literally just finished it. So I will give credit where credit's due. I don't know how I'll feel about this later on down the road because I did only give this thing 3 stars because there were some issues in it. It was very slow to get to the meat of the story, and this thing really needed a fucking family tree. Oh my god, it needed one so bad. But other than that, I had a really good time with this book. The number 2 spot goes to The House Witch by Dilemhak, I think is how you say their name. I loved this. I had a great fucking time with this one. It had a cat mafia in it. That was awesome. I actually picked up the rest of the series on my Kindle for this book, and I plan on continuing with it. This one was really fun. It is about a house witch, and the house witch is a man. And he likes to cook. And he does all the kitchen stuff. And anything that is considered part of his home, he has power over or domain over. And I thought that was fucking great. I loved that. And our discussion over that was so fucking cool. Becky did something really, really cool. She actually asked a personalized question to each one of us based off how we review and analyze books when we had our live show on this one. And that stuck out the most to me. So one of the reasons this book is as high as it is because the memory it's attached to. The story was great. It did have its slow parts, very, very slow burn. Oh my god, slow burn, but comedy out the ass about the gay guys. I thought that was great. They kept making fun of the guy. They kept saying he was gay, he's not. But they kept saying he was, it was great. Oh, it was fucking hilarious. And where was the other fountain? Where? We still don't know. Maybe in book 2. It was great. There was a lot of good moments, humorous moments in this, but I really enjoyed the memory that this book gives me. I really enjoyed that live show. All of us were present. We were all engaged in it. We had a really good conversation on it. Out of all the live shows, this is the one that I remember the most. So this one had to be ranked up there high for it. But unfortunately, the book was not strong enough to make the number one spot for me. The book that gave the number one spot from me, earns the number one spot for me, is Genevieve Gornichek's The Weaver and the Witch Queen. And this was my pick. Don't come for me that I picked the number one spot as my book. I loved Genevieve Gornichek's The Witch's Heart. I had a great time when that book was 5 stars. So I had a very, very high hopes for this book. This book had a lot going for it. Was it perfect? No. But I really, really enjoyed it. I enjoyed her writing. I thought it was strong. I liked the Viking era witch, the Nordic witch. I liked this. I liked the blood that was involved with it. Although I didn't see a blood eagle. Need to fix that. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, we had conversations about fucking favorite execution methods. Okay, guys? Like, we went off the chain in this conversation. But this one, I just really enjoyed. Although there was one sister that I feel like we needed her story. That was my biggest problem with this book, is that I think this book would have benefited from having all 3 of their stories, not just 2 of them. But we got to hit a lot of different LGBTQ references in here as well, which I thought was really kind of cool. A lot of history. I think this one was a big hit for a lot of the girls. So I was very proud of this pick. And that's another reason I put it as number 1, is I feel like a lot of the girls really enjoyed this one. And my picks tend to be like, oh God, it's historical. This one worked. I don't remember a lot of the girls having major issues with this book. Some minor things here and there, but I feel like this was a pretty solid across the board with all of us. So it's my number 1. Now, what this list is going to look like when all 4 of us go together and argue it, that'll be something to see. So you definitely do not want to miss that. But these are the 12 books that I read with some of my good friends over here on BookTube. Good friends. These are some of my best friends. I talk to these girls twice a month, and I get to physically see them via the internet twice a month, and we talk pretty much all the time in our Instagram DM and our little private chat. And I love these girls. I mean, these girls are part of my family, and they are my coven, and I cannot wait for another year with them. I love learning about all the Canadian facts with Kristen. I love seeing Laura and her husband interact and just his mask. It's the greatest thing ever. And Becky, she knows. And Becky, I know you're watching this. You know I love the fucking shit out of you. You are another piece of me that I didn't know I was missing. And thank you so much for including me in this with you, and for finding me and being one of my people, and introducing me to so many other beautiful, wonderful people that I can call my sister witches. Because let's be honest, I have red hair, I'm left-handed, I have a secret birthmark. I would have been burnt at the stake. But if I was sharing a steak and a pike and a pyre with you 3 ladies, it'd still be a fucking party. So, to all my coven members, I love you. Please don't be heartbroken if your selection was at the bottom, Laura. I still love you. I still love you. I still love you. I promise. I promise I do love you. But thank you so much, girls, for including me and making me feel at home in this little web coven that we have over here in our corner of the internet. I love you all, and I cannot wait for another kick-ass year and some kick-ass books. You guys have spread my wings, you have spread my horizons, and you have made a completed witch of me. So, I love you all, and I will see you guys very, very soon.